What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 30th day of June. The final hours of June are upon us. Here we are at about $108.8 thousand, 22 hours and 12 minutes left in the day. We're moving up, man. We're getting that end of month rally after all, you guys, and that's phenomenal. Love to see it. Looking at this here on Coinbase, very slow and low amounts of volume over the weekend. That's to be expected. We just closed out a week. We're opening up this Monday already, 2 hours into the day here. And if we look, the volume is actually very comparable to what we saw on Saturday. This is just 2 hours in. Another 2 hours, we're going to have more volume than we did on Saturday already. So having some volume coming in to kick off the day, nice to see. If we look at this on the 1 hour time frame, we are building volume here. You can see right here, right? Building some volume coming in. Looking bullish, looking like we do want to continue moving higher. I like the RSI. I love the RSI, man. Getting overbought like this, not getting oversold, beautiful behavior. Overbought like this, bouncing off the 40, coming back to getting overbought, beautiful. Beautiful behavior. We do have bearish divergence at the moment. 11 minutes, 28 seconds left in this 1 hour candle. We do have bearish divergence, but in all fairness, this wick down that we already saw this hour, that completed the bearish divergence. We don't need to go there. And it's technically not completed until we see a red candle anyway, so in 11 minutes we'll know. I don't think this candle is going to close red, though, man. I think we're going to come back up and move up higher. And I have my suspicions for that. We're going to go over that in a second, too. But just looking at this overall, I think we're in a very bullish posturing, you guys. Absolutely dominant bullish posturing here. I mean, if we look at this relative fib here from a high to a low here, we are just below the 1272. This is not an area that you stop, so even if this closes red, we already saw the bearish divergence happen. Like, we don't need to move lower. Maybe we do. And even if we do, whatever. Go back to 108K. We'll still come back up and see prices that are probably above 109, 110K even by the end of today, right? One thing that I'm a little bit concerned with is that over the weekend, we moved up, right? The past couple of days, if we're looking at this here, it's been a green weekend. Typically, with a green weekend, you do pull back over the week, right, to start off the week. Not always, right? There are definitely some gaps to the downside. I mean, if we look at this here, let's look at BTC futures, right? What did I just type in? Bitcoin futures, whatever. BTC Bitcoin futures, crypto. Whoa. No. Nope, that's a coin. That was a coin that we just clicked on. I don't want to click on some random coin. I want to click on the actual futures. Now I'm all glitched out here. It's okay. We'll look at this one here. We'll do this one. Bitcoin, no. Bitcoin futures. CME. There we go. Is this a different crypto? Maybe I should invest in this. Maybe it's a good Bitcoin future. It's a meme coin. I don't know. Maybe so. What future Bitcoin's going to be worth 8 cents? I don't believe you. Bitcoin future, BTC. So, anyways, looking at this on a daily time frame, I'm just trying to show, and actually even a weekly time frame, we can see it here. Again, it's kind of frozen. I don't know why. Okay, weekly time frame, you can see a gap right there. We didn't fill the gap. This low right here on this week, it did not fill that gap. You see, it did not fill that gap. So we had a gap down there. We also have a gap down here. The week closed right here, but the next week opened above. You can see where the week opened. There's a gap right there. There's a gap down here. There's all these gaps that have happened, and we haven't filled them. So the idea that we have to go down, it's not a requirement. Okay, it's not a dictated prophecy that has to happen, right? It is an idea. It's a statistical probability, but that doesn't mean that it's inevitable, right? We could continue to move up, and that does happen sometimes. Looking at it now, looking at this here, 108.6K, just where we are relative to this fib, I doubt that it stops here. So go a little lower. Come back up, whatever. I'm not afraid of it, man. It's probably going to go, I would think, above 110K. Typically with these small-term fib retracements, you actually do extend into the secondary zone, which is the 2886 to the 1886 to the 2618, which is between about 110 to 111.5 thousand dollars. Okay, something in that area, pushing new all-time highs, guys. That's what this says we're gonna do before we pull back, right? That's kind of the expectation here. And again, maybe we pull back a little bit first, but nothing crazy. And here's why I think we're going to continue moving up, guys. This is something that I missed, and I wish I caught it. I would have been much more bullish over here had I seen this. There's a couple of things I've missed, and I don't know what's up with that lately. Normally I'm a little bit more in depth than that, but I blame myself. And you learn, sometimes you learn. High to low, and you got to learn, man. Sometimes you just get reminded that you can't overlook things. You have to be very in depth with your analysis, even on the short-term stuff. high to low here from June 10th to this low, okay? Is this the right low? No. I want the overall high. That's what it is. The overall high, the all-time high to the overall low. We found support at the golden ratio. You guys, this is absurdly bullish. This formation in the price is absurdly bullish. Everything we're doing right now, if I had seen this before, I would have been more bullish back here, right? I would have been less bearish back here. Because back here we were calling for 105K, 104K, you know, stuff like that, even a little bit below there. And the possibility that we could go below this low is still there. But looking at this, I would say it's even less so, man. You broke above your golden ratio just like nonstop and you back tested it for support. This is very, very bullish behavior, you guys. Absolutely it is. If we're looking at this high here, coming down, bringing this line across, you can see, if we're finding resistance on it, let's try and be fair. We're right at that area now, finding support of the golden ratio. Of course we'd come up here. And I don't think that we're going to find resistance here. I think that we'll break through. Where are we going to go? Probably up to the 886 or higher in a very short amount of time, right? That's kind of the expectation that I have right now. But finding support at the golden ratio is a very, very bullish thing. Finding support at the 50 on the RSI, on the 4-hour RSI is very bullish as well. Getting overbought, not getting oversold. Just very, very resilient. And we were expecting a bearish weekend and didn't even get that, man. Just super, super resilient. And I believe that we're on our way to new all-time highs. All that to say. If we're looking at this on a daily time frame, the RSI is fantastic. Can't even get oversold. You're getting deep in the overbought zone, but you can't even get oversold. We're looking like we want to point into the overbought zone now. We have a W pattern on the RSI right here, guys. Right there. And it's going to take us to the overbought zone, right? W patterns, if they complete, they get to where it formed and actually even a little bit through there. So we're going to see deeper readings, potentially, than what we saw over April and into May. At the prime of this move, we're going to see deeper readings, and that's going to also coincide with breaking out to new all-time highs, breaking out of this overall pattern. Are we in some kind of bull flag? Like right now, is that what this is? If we're looking at this on a 3-day time frame, here I thought this was a diamond pattern, and maybe it is a diamond pattern, but it could also be interpreted as a bull flag, right? How we're performing. You got lower lows, you've got lower highs, we're breaking out of it now. Okay, if this is a bull flag, and I think it might be, man, from a low to a high, the way that you'd measure this is you put it at the base here. Come on now. That measure move takes us all the way up to 150K. And what I believe is that this second move will actually be more robust, faster than the first move was. I think it will be. My logic, because, well, first off, I don't know, man, there's some big stuff coming in July. I think there's going to be some big stuff financially. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not good for the American economy, but I think it's going to be good for Bitcoin, right? If we get that $5 trillion debt ceiling increase, you guys, from the big, beautiful bill, is that good for the U.S. dollar? Is that good for the United States and the debt ceiling deficit? Probably not. Is it really good for anybody who's invested in Bitcoin? Absolutely. Absolutely, right? There's the American in me that's like, hey, you know, maybe this isn't the best thing for our country. But then there's the investor in me who's like, dude, give me money for free. Please do it. Pass the great, big, beautiful bill. I want it. Doesn't matter, though. With or without this bill, Bitcoin's going to millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and probably in my lifetime. Like, genuinely, it's inevitable. It's going to get there. We don't need this, but it will definitely speed things up, man. Think of it like an obstacle course, right? The big, beautiful bill is like a helicopter picking you up in the middle of the obstacle course and taking you to the end without you having to go through all these obstacles. That's how I think of it, man. It's going to excel things very, very rapidly, kick things off. Beyond just that, we're going to be breaking out to new all-time highs, okay? This move here, I think we're going to see a faster move than this move was, right? That's what I'm saying. And the reason for that is this move was recovering from this retracement, whereas this move we're not recovering. We're in blue sky breakout territory. We're in new all-time highs, baby. That's what we're doing. We are ripping and running and breaking through the freaking roof. On the weekly, on the 3-day time frame, we'll be getting overbought. On the weekly time frame, we'll be getting overbought. And whenever Bitcoin gets overbought, you guys, we don't stop. We don't, like, let's just go over this real quick, okay? Let's go over this real quick. Here, this week, you were not overbought. This week here, you were overbought. So from a low to a high, where'd you go? When you got overbought, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. 7 weeks of upside. You got overbought on the weekly last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 weeks of upside. And it was 63%. That's nice when you got overbought. That's not the overall move. That's just when you got overbought. When you got overbought here, it wasn't this week. It wasn't this week, but it was the next week. So this week here, from a low to a high, 75%. And how long did that move take? That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of upside. There's a week in each of these here or there where you stalled. 6 weeks, 7 weeks before this move really topped off. Understand what I'm saying, right? Let's go. Let's keep going. Overbought zone here on the weekly time frame. Not overbought here, but you were overbought on this week. So from a low of that week, not even the low of the move, just the low. I'm not going to count this as a high because that's a fake out high. We're just going to get the meat of the move, because even if you sold here, I think you did well, right? You sell there, you buy the lows, whatever, you know. That's not the move. I'm not going to cherry pick. 50%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks of upside. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear me? Are you following along? It's not so much the percentage that you should be focused on. It's the weeks of consistent upside growth that we see. Overbought here. And we were not overbought the week before this. We were just overbought this week. This was not so consistent, but still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks later, we topped off. And it wasn't as robust as some of these other moves, but you could also see the move itself wasn't robust, so maybe you could expect that it's less of a robust top, right? The point remains, 5 weeks, 7 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, right? We could go back. It doesn't stop. In fact, the last time over here, the finale phase of the bull cycle, what we had, it was just 6 months of upside, right? Crazy. That's like 20, what is that, 25, 28 weeks, something like that, just straight upside. We're not even overbought yet. The smallest move we have is 41%. If we were to get overbought, we move 41% up. The minimum expectation from here would be 150K, which that's our bull flag measure move anyways. What if we get a stronger move than anything we've seen so far because we're in the finale phase? What if you see something that's more fantastic than this? Okay, but maybe not. Let's just, something between 150, let's put that there because that's our minimum, what we've done so far, 41%. Let's do it. I'll put it even a little bit below because that's basically 42%. And let's go all the way up to 74%. That way we have a range. I like a range. A range is nice, right? It's visually appealing, I think. 190K? Does that sound familiar? Does that sound... You guys, you realize that we could see 190K by the end of this move? By the end of the next 6 to 7 weeks from now, right? Are we on track with why that makes sense? What is 6 to 7 weeks from here, right? From this current... Because probably by the end of this week we'll be overbought. Probably. Okay? 6 weeks from here is August 11th. 7 weeks from here is August 18th and beyond, right? So sometime in the middle of August, that's probably when we're going to be at 190K, 180K, somewhere in that area. We don't have to see a bigger move than this. I mean, at this point in time, though, I wouldn't be surprised. What if I'm not bullish enough and we're above $200,000, you guys? Again, this would exceed my expectations because typically with Bitcoin, if we see a cycle high to a bear market low, we do this. You don't really rip through the golden ratio on the first attempt. You still find a little bit of resistance, and yes, we're going to rip through it. But I mean, when you hit this area, typically what you do is you go just a little bit above there. I don't know if we're going to go to 190K, or if we do, I don't believe that we would see anything more than that, right? Because more than that, it's just weird to stop here. Between the 1618 and the 1886, that's weird. It's either I'm going to be absolutely right, and we're going to 180 to 190K by the end of this next move, or, and definitely not right about the timing. I am not perfect. I have called for this target for a long time, for months. We thought we were going to be here in, well, we didn't think by the end of April, but we thought by the end of March. We thought by the end of June, July. Now it's August, right? But the price is going to happen. I don't care how long it takes. The price is going to happen. And this is something that we've waited for. This is something that we prepared for and only bought more as a result, right? So we're only going to have more money as it goes up. If I'm wrong, the only way that I think I'm wrong is that not only, so we wouldn't stop at 180K, but we'd go all the way up to 260. I'm not bullish enough is what that means. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. That'd be great. That'd be great. But I mean, damn, man, we might have to talk about $1 million Bitcoin by the end of this cycle. I don't know. That could be a cycle top if we just blow up that hard. But I would think genuinely we probably do stop around 175 to 185K. Go ahead and look at Bitcoin's history. Draw any high to low. Tell me I'm wrong. Statistically speaking, you're more likely to wick above the golden ratio than you are to stop right at it. So something in this area, in this range, it just makes sense. You got all these indicators pointing up there. And that all is validated. That's all something that we can count on happening over the 6 to 7 weeks to come once we get oversold on the weekly RSI. You understand? Right? That's a big deal. It's a very big deal. You guys, with the week that just closed, that's because this week here closed down here, that's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. On this week here, we engulfed 4 weeks of price action that Bitcoin had in this consolidation phase. We broke out of the bull flag. We had the second highest weekly close we've ever seen in Bitcoin's history. You understand? It's very, very, very bullish environment that we're in right now. Go down a little bit. We're at 108.5K. We dropped like $200 since the start of this video. Go down a little bit. Go down a little bit more. Who cares? We're on the way up. We're on the way up. And I wouldn't be surprised, because the weekend was a little bit bullish, if we saw some bearishness today and tomorrow. We saw a little bit of a red day, but I'm not thinking it's going to be anything crazy. I mean, at the most, at the absolute most, what, 104.6K? At the most, at the absolute most, that's where we would go, probably. It's like a 3% move. What, the golden ratio? Not even a 10% move. Like, I just don't see us getting down there, guys. We're on the brink of the break. We've broken out of our downtrend in the daily RSI. We're going up, man. We're going up. We're not going to do this. That's not going to happen. And that's what would have to happen if we were to see lower lows. But we broke out of our downtrend. We have a W formation in the RSI. We're not going to do that. No, we're going up. We're going up. We would at least, from here, at least go up to the overbought zone if we were to go down there. You know, we'd at least reject that. So from here, we at least have some growth to go. But that also makes sense, right? That also makes a lot of sense, because if we take this high to low here, you bounce off your golden ratio, you're coming back up. I would think that at least before we go lower, we go to 110K, right? 110K. Then maybe we start off July a little bit to the downside, maybe fill the gap, come back down, find support at this golden ratio zone, and then we're ripping and running. That's what I'm expecting. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button if you did. Subscribe if you did. I'll see you on the next one. All right, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.